We are currently in the dark moon phase, which I'm going to proudly say is probably the most important component of living and attuning our lives to the moon cycle. And this is because it is a time of letting go. It is the void between the time just before the sun and the moon meet. We have a very, very important eclipse coming up on Saturday night, Sydney time. And this is right now a time to connect and go within. In order to do this exercise, what I'm about to teach you, you will need a pen and paper and maybe some headphones, because if you comment the word drums below, I'm going to send you a track that you can use in order to do this shamanic journey, if you will. And this is really going to help take things to a new level. Now, the reason that we want to do things now during the moon void, so I'm giving you 2 nights to do this, that's plenty of time, is because right now we are at a time where the wisdom, the knowledge, and that internal knowing is at its strongest. We have our peak. And I can see it in so many people where too many of you, myself included, we're holding on to beliefs, patterns, fears, attitudes, and thoughts that are not helping us become the best version of ourselves. And what is the point in being on this journey if you cannot be the best version of you? We all know that we were all made for more. And so I really get annoyed in the social media space when people talk about the full moon as a point of release. I don't know where that started, and it really gets under my skin that people just blindly just follow that. The full moon is actually a time of illumination, it's celebration. You've fulfilled your intentions. Right now, it's the dark moon where we release. And so because we have just entered the void, this is the place where magic happens. And insights, deep, deep insights that we're yearning for, that's where they take place. It is the end and the beginning of the lunar cycle. And that's because right now we have almost 0% illumination from the sun. If you look up at the sky, you will not be able to see the moon. If anything, a tiny, tiny sliver. And that's because the sky is absolutely dark. But in contrast, it's your heart that is lit from within. And so you have until Sunday at 10 p.m. Sydney time in order to complete this exercise. And what I want to do with you is just teach you a little bit about this point of the cycle, because we actually have so much knowledge available to us and information based on the seeds that you planted, not necessarily 2 weeks ago, but I want to take you back 6 months. Now, you may feel light or heavy when you connect with these energies. And either way, you can see the wisdom of the opportunities of what you need to let go of, because there's plenty of baggage that we're all carrying. And when you connect within, it's also giving you a hint of what's to come, because your heart plants desires. We are cyclical beings, whether you pay attention to it or not. When people tell me, oh, I don't believe in horoscopes or I don't believe in star signs, I don't care what you believe, it's there. It's not going to change the fact that the moon goes through its cycle. It has a cycle every 28 and a half days. It's not going to change the fact that we have a new moon and a full moon. It's not going to change the fact that the sun has a 365-day rotation. Our level of consciousness now we're really going through a shift. We're really going through an upgrade. And the gist that I'm receiving is that a veil, a thick fog is really being lifted, because too many people have been blinded. And now is the time that this veil, your rose-colored glasses, they come off and we get to see reality from a different light. But you need to work intentionally with these energies. Now, we are naturally cyclical beings where we go through cycles and there is no beginning and there is no end. So we can say that we start at birth, we go through growth, full bloom, harvest, decay, and death, and then we are reborn again. Everything goes through this cycle: a plant, an animal, our projects, our our missions, our businesses, our relationships, especially us. So at this point in the cycle of the dark moon, it's worth documenting. And so that's why I said at the start, you will need a pen and paper. And the reason I say that is because it's amazing to look back and to see what you were releasing, because you get to have an opportunity to revisit this in 6 months' time in particular. And I'm going to make a mental note to remind you, I might reshare this video to see what intentions did you create at the new moon, and were you able to fully release and embody what you released right now in the dark moon phase. Now, I love keeping my journals because I get to look back and go, wow. And I've made it like a thing where I get to tick things off with my new moon intentions. And those of you that know me will know how religious I am when it comes to my new moon intentions. So what I want you to do now is I want you to comment the word drums below. Comment on this post, and I will send you a particular track. And I've been using this in the Venus Labyrinth, and the girls in it have absolutely loved this track. And we use drumming because it connects with the Earth's frequency. It's like the Earth's heartbeat. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take a mental note of, or maybe write down what I'm going to ask of you to do. Go and play the 20-minute track, and then come back in the comments and let me know what you felt. Let me know the shift. Let me know the sigh of relief. So what you need to do to start off with is you need to take 3 deep breaths. And when you do that, really close your eyes and just ground yourself. Just really center yourself and connect with your breath. Once you've done that, I want you to then imagine a beautiful forest. And there's this path in front of you. It's clear and it's very distinct about that you need to journey on this path. Now you need to do this all in your mind. The drumming will lead you there, but it all happens through your mind's eye. Once you start walking on this path, you notice a really big circle of community, and there are all these people surrounding this bonfire. They're all standing around it, and they're really visualizing and just observing the flame and being immersed by it. They're warmed by it, but it's a warmth that doesn't just warm you physically. It's just spiritually and emotionally really connecting with your soul. Now, in this visualization, you are connecting with the other people standing around the flame as well. This is your soul family that you're calling in. And the next thing I want you to do is I want you to call in the 4 elements. It's so important that we start understanding the elements and working with them. So I just want you to make a comment or a statement. I call in the element of air. Now, the air connects us with communication, thoughts, and dreams. Next, I want you to say, I call in the element of earth, which represents stability, groundedness, and abundance. Next, I want you to call in the element of water, which is healing, emotional wisdom, and flow. And then lastly, I want you to call in the element of fire. Fire is transformation, courage, and passion. I want you to feel these elements in, around, and through you. And then once you've done that, this is now the pinnacle. And this is all done in your mind's eye. And after you finish, you then write these down. But what you are going to do is you are going to create or intend or saying out loud your 3-fold prayers. Now, the 3-fold prayers involve something that you want to release for yourself, something you want to release for your community. So think of your network, your immediate network around you. It could be your family. It could be a group you're involved with. It could be a school or a learning platform that you're entangled with, whatever it may be. And then the third one is something for the world, for humanity, something that the planet really needs to release. Something really powerful happens when we all connect with a vision like this. And I want you to compose those prayers in your mind and, say them in your mind's eye, what you want to release. And then I want you to imagine yourself walking towards this bonfire. It's like the people around the circle have already done this, and now it's your turn. And then I want you to imagine that you've written down these release threefold prayers, and then you're throwing them into the fire. This is all done through your mind's eye. There are no rules. You cannot get it wrong. Once you have thrown in the three elements into the fire, I want you to go back and joining the circle and then go back to your path. Obviously, you can do this as slowly or as quickly as you like. Again, there are no rules. Once you complete that, when you go back to the path, I want you to say one by one, I let go of the element of air, earth, water, and fire, because we want to release the elements. And then once you've done that, you come back. You leave the path and then you come back to where you are. You want to use your breath. You want to use your ability to connect in order to help you move through this process. I can assure you, and for those of you that have worked with me, you know how much value I give you. You know how like hopefully honest and truthful my teachings are, because these are the things that have really resonated with me and changed my life. If you do this practice before 10 p.m. Sydney time on Saturday, the 29th of March, the biggest shift can happen and clearing, which will allow you to bring in and plant seeds of intention and to allow you to work with the energies, because the eclipse we have coming up is one that is absolutely life-changing. I don't mean that lightly. I don't say that about every eclipse, but the one we have coming up is really breaking new ground, and we have history in the making this coming week. The energies at play are, like, astrologers have been talking about this for a long time. I mentioned a lot of this in my 2025 masterclass. If you would like to watch that, let me know. But I would love to know what you experienced in this short little exercise. And if you feel comfortable, share with me maybe what the world needs releasing of. Maybe keep it, I think if you want to share with me your personal, that's absolutely fine, but maybe the world. What does the world need releasing of? So if you've stayed with me up until this point, I really thank you. I thank you for engaging with me and for honoring your time and mine. I shall see you soon. I'll see you on the other side of the eclipse, because just a reminder, this time in the moon void, now that we are in the moon void, in the dark moon phase, it is not a time for being outward. It is not a time for being social. It is not a time of acting and doing. It is the absolute biggest permission slip that you could ever get about being introverted, coming inwards, and really nurturing what you need internally. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the other side of the eclipse.